So what about productivity draining activities? Well, we know what you want to move towards. What do you want to move away from? What are the productivity draining activities where you're getting minimum results in maximum time, not maximum results in minimum time? Are you with me? Right? Well, drainer number one, the biggest one of all. And now, because we're connected, to the net, we're connected online on Facebook and stuff. And I see people texting at the dinner table. I see people texting to each other. They're right in front of each other. Millennials do that a lot. It's super funny, right? They're just texting and talking versus talking, face to face. But interruptions are the number one drainer. And the reason an interruption is a drainer is it interrupts your flow. When Henry Ford learned all about the assembly line, well, the car completely changed the face of the way we live, because the Model T, and there was a Model A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T. Okay, that was, sloppy success is better than perfect mediocrity. That was the Model T after so many versions. He made it possible for his own workers to buy it. He developed the middle class. Now the cities could grow out into more rural areas and suburbs, all because of the car, and it was affordable. But what made that possible was assembly lines, because the car was built on blocks, and there were 2,000 car manufacturers when Henry Ford started at the turn of the 20th century. But this is the way I heard the story from my mentor, but he was visiting a meat packing plant in Chicago, and he saw these butchers, cutting off bits and pieces of, the meat going down this assembly line. And he thought, wow, I can make an assembly line with my car. We can pull the car through people, and one person puts a wheel, another person puts a fender, another person puts a spoke, right? And so that changed everything. And he had millions of cars manufactured in a very short time period, and the cost went down, right? So they were affordable. So what prevents an assembly line from working? An interruption, right? So an interruption means you are getting interrupted during your prime time, and it takes you about 10 to 14 minutes to get back into flow. It doesn't add up. If you're interrupted every 5 minutes and it takes you 10 to 14 minutes to get back into flow, these are the neuroscientists saying this. This is not me. This is what the research says. Then you're not very productive. Now, I'm not saying this to kind of shame you or guilt you into being productive. I'm saying this because I want you to be more self-aware that your productivity will define how good of a worker you are for someone else if you have a boss, or how good of an entrepreneur you are if other people are working for you. And people observe you. They support what they help to create. So teaching these strategies to others, super simple, right? Go back and watch the replay, and you can teach them. You can take this material and teach others. That would be super cool. So I can say, oh my gosh, they were a student one day and now they're much wealthier than me. They irritate me. That's a good irritation to have. But an irritation is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about an interruption. So if you're interrupted constantly, you won't be very productive.